And a very pleasant good afternoon, and we welcome you to Santa Ana College. We are underway. Round one of the playoffs between Santa Ana College and AVC, and Ariel Nieto getting things started immediately off of starter Emily Rosas with a double to right to get the Marauders going. We do apologize. We are having some difficulty with our cameras, and we'll try to get that for you as soon as we possibly can. But in the meantime, we'll try to keep you up to date with what's going on. We're just underway in the top of the first with a runner at second and nobody out. And set to bat, it's Haley Johnson. Johnson, the left-hander. Rosas with the rise ball in for a strike, no balls and a strike. Rosas, the conference pitcher of the year in the Orange Empire Conference. She has been dominating. Foul tip for Johnson. It's quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Haley Johnson after the leadoff double by Nieto. Savannah Cervantes, the conference player of the year in the Western State Conference, waits on deck, just underway here in the top of the first. Best of 3 series between these two teams. On the ground to first, Westerfield will take it to the bag for out number 1. Johnson does the job and advances the runner. So the Marauders now with a runner at third and 1 down.
Now batting number 33, Savannah Cervantes.
And that'll bring up Cervantes in an RBI situation where she has been so good all season long. 47 RBIs to lead the team. Rise ball in for a strike for Rosas. No balls and a strike. This a titanic matchup. This matchup between these two teams, as old as baseball or softball itself, it's a matchup of the top home run hitting team in the state in Antelope Valley College, Santa Ana College. Classic pitching versus hitting matchup here between AVC and Santa Ana, the 4 seed against the 12 seed. We'll get into that a little bit more moving forward as well. A ball and 2 strikes now on Cervantes. And we talked with head coach Marissa Ross of Santa Ana College, and of course we talked about Emily Rosas. A good repertoire of pitches, but the rise ball is the go-to pitch. For Rosas, that's the dominating pitch for the 5-2 sophomore Emily Rosas. Nieto at third, 1 and 2 on Cervantes, back to the screen. For all of Cervantes' gaudy numbers at the plate, perhaps the most impressive might be even the walk-to-strikeout ratio for a batter of Cervantes' aggressiveness and ability. 17 walks on the season, just 8 strikeouts and well over 100 at-bats. Having said that, Rosas might be the toughest pitcher that the Marauders have seen all season long. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Cervantes. And again, we're trying to work on our camera situation and get that sorted out for you. Just underway. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Roped but foul. Tuesdays handles the bat so well, she was fooled but stayed alive, but the rise ball from Rosas, and she blows it by Cervantes. That is a huge strikeout, 2 down. Nieto remains at third. All right. That'll bring up Nayeli Delgado, and Delgado will try to pick up the run. Fly ball down the right field line, just foul. Alexis Rangel couldn't quite get there. No balls and a strike. Delgado, another sophomore, batting .303 on the season. 5 home runs, 42 runs batted in. The Marauders trying to pick up the early lead against Emily Rosas and the Dons. On the outside corner, quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Nayeli Delgado. just outside. 1-2. The count on Delgado. Rosas rocks and fires, check swing, back to the screen. Delgado still alive. Give you the numbers quickly on Rosas. Of course, we could go on and on. Her 38th start of the year, 41st appearance overall, the record 33-6. The ERA 0.98 in 243 and a third. Allowed just 131 hits, 263 strikeouts, but not 265, as I'm counting up to the moment, counting the Cervantes strikeout earlier in the inning for Rosas. She wanted that call, but it was just off the outside corner. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Delgado. Rosas ready. Popped up. Right side. Playable. Robles has it for the out. Side retired. The Marauders threaten but come up empty through half an inning. AVC scoreless. Santa Ana coming to bat. Ramirez will lead things off. Maddie Reiser gets the start for the Marauders here in Game 1 for Reiser. It's her 25th appearance, her 17th start. The record 11-4, her ERA 2.09. Reiser ready, first pitch, low and outside for a ball. One and 0 on Ramirez. Outside for a ball, 2 balls and no strikes on Ramirez. Ramirez comes in batting .325, a home run, 29 runs batted in. For all of the power of AVC, it's a much different offense for Santa Ana, though not, of course, any less effective. 5 home runs as a team on the season, but the team batting average at .295. The Dons will play, well, let's face it, I can't avoid using the term, a little more small ball. Trying to put runners on base and move them along. Called strike, 3 balls and a strike on Ramirez. Of course, that plays to the park here in Santa Ana as Ramirez has the leadoff walk. Leadoff batter aboard.
Now batting, number 13, Alana Rang-Soupson.
And again, apologies, we're working on trying to restore our camera behind home plate. Rang-Soupson will be the batter. Cervantes way in at third along with Alcantara at first. They'll put 5 on the infield for Rang-Soupson, and Reiser ready. A long look, Maddie's ready, now comes home. Just outside for a ball. Early struggles with control for Reiser. Rang-Soupson bats .305 on the season, no home runs, 17 runs batted in. But good speed from the left side. Just outside. 2 balls and no strikes. This is somewhat uncharacteristic for Reiser. 45 walks in 94 innings, 125 strikeouts. So ordinarily, her control is at least solid, if not exceptional. Judging by her ability to get the strikeout, but she's way behind Rang Soupson now, 3 balls and no strikes. And that'll bring a visit from Trinity Holman, who's behind the plate today for the Marauders, with Natalie Gomez out in right, as Cindy Vargas shakes up the lineup here for game 1, as Nayeli Delgado moves to shortstop. And that goes back to something that we talked about in our conversation with Cindy Vargas. She has a lot of players moving around, and some of that is by necessity, but some of that is also as these players look ahead to continuing their career. Versatility is hardly going to be a vice, it's going to be a virtue. Meanwhile, back-to-back walks. So for players like Delgado, who are moving on after their sophomore season, Coach Vargas trying to create opportunities for them to become more versatile. And you see Delgado moving to short, where she's done a terrific job. So 2 on, nobody out. Reiser's in a jam early. In for a strike. No balls and a strike. Sarah Casey, the designated player today, 3 home runs, 23 runs batted in, 375, her average on the season. Tried a bunt, and now Reiser's way out in front, no balls and 2 strikes. But we saw Rosas come up with a big strikeout in the top of the first when the Marauders were threatening with Nieto at third. Reiser would love to do that herself right here with 2 on and nobody out, working against Casey. Another left-handed bat in this Don's lineup. It sees as many as 5 left-handers on a regular basis fouled off. No balls and 2 strikes. Oh and 2 on Casey. Went after the rise ball, but got a piece. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, there's just a little difference in the straight velocity between Reiser and Rosas. And Reiser there, that's a great location with the rise ball, but can't quite blow it by Casey, who's able to just get a piece. Let's see if she can do it here. Back to the rise ball, lifted to left. Playable, 4 out, number 1. Johnson puts it away. The runners stay put. 1 down.
Now batting, number 28, JoJo Westerfield.
That'll bring up JoJo Westerfield. Westerfield, sophomore out of El Dorado High School, stands in from the right side. Well, that was a big out for Reiser. Now she'll go to work on Westerfield. First pitch, just outside with the curve. 1 ball and no strikes on Westerfield, who comes in batting .349. No home runs, 21 runs batted in. I started to mention the dimensions of the park, 225 to the alleys, 215, or I should say 210 down the line. But the prevailing wind generally blows in from left, in and across from left to right. So this functions as far more of a pitcher's park, and obviously that has worked to great effect for Emily Rosas, who went on to have a blockbuster year with 33 wins. 2 balls and no strikes. Westerfield tries to go the opposite way. 2 balls and a strike on Westerfield. So it's a bit of a bad break for AVC. Of course, some might have noticed that AVC is the 12 seed technically, but is playing on the road against the 4 seed. That goes against the straight math of the situation, which ordinarily would have the 4 seed playing the 13 seed. Westerfield lifts it to right. Gomez is there and has it. The runner will tag and move up first and third with 2 down.
Now batting, number 77, Vinny Robles.
That'll bring up Robles. For those who might not be aware, there is an effort made in the pairings in the 3C2A in the playoffs to avoid conference matchups. Renewing in the opening round of the playoffs, obviously, you can't control it after that. Fullerton was the 13 seed and would, straight by the numbers, have come to Santa Ana. Of course, they both play in the Orange Empire Conference, so the move was made to flip-flop, and AVC, the 12 seed, ends up, instead of going to Long Beach, comes here to Santa Ana. But as Coach Cindy Vargas was quick to point out, as the Rise ball misses outside, 1 ball, no strikes, was quick to point out, hey, once you get to the postseason, you don't have a whole lot of choice. You got to beat who they put in front of you. So here we come, and we're going to make the trip to Santa Ana and come here to win. Meanwhile, on the play, the runner moves to second. So second and third, and a count of a ball and a strike. So Rang Soupson at second, Ramirez at third. And a count of a ball and a strike on Vinny Robles. Curveball just outside, 2 balls and a strike. Well, Reiser continues to try and work that outside corner. But so far hasn't been able to get the call. And Reiser working deliberately. The 2-1 to Robles, fouled out of play. 2-2 for the Dons. This is a tough matchup for the Marauders. Dons come in not only champions of the Orange Empire Conference, typically deep and powerful, was the OEC in 2022. But the Dons won the postseason tournament in what might ultimately be the final year of the postseason tournament. In the Orange Empire Conference, breaking ball just low and outside. Full count now on Robles. Reiser does have first base open. Big pitch coming up for Matty Reiser. The Dons come in having won 5 straight, just won the Orange Empire Conference tournament. So they're a tremendous team playing great ball. Line drive, base hit for Robles. This is going to score 2 as Rang Soupson will round and score. The Dons draw first blood. They are on top 2-0 on a 2-run single by Robles.
Now batting, number 22, Alexis Rangel.
Well, that'll bring up Rangel. Big 2-out hit for Vinny Robles. She had just 10 runs batted in all season with an average of .333, make it 12. And those are 2 big ones with Rosas in the circle. Every run becomes so big. Rangel swing and a miss. Robles breaking for second, and she'll make it. So no balls and a strike. And now Robles at second, and that's no surprise for Dons fans. Robles now with 23 steals on the season without being caught. So see, she's at second, and keep an eye on her there. Cervantes, meanwhile, inside the bag at third with Rangel, the left-hander, facing a no ball and 1 strike count. Change outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, for those just joining us, we're having a little trouble with our main shot, trying to get that established, and we hope to have that for you as soon as possible. In the meantime, I shall endeavor to paint a picture. Ground ball right side. Hernandez will go to first to retire the side, but the Dons get on the board. 2 runs on the big 2-run single by Robles. We're through 1. Santa Ana on top of AVC 2-0, the 3C2A playoffs here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Near the restrooms.
Leading things off for the Marauders, it'll be the designated player, Amy Manzo. Manzo will be followed by Holman and Alcantar as the Marauders face an early deficit here in Santa Ana, trailing 2-0 as Emily Rosas gets ready to go to start the second. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss for Manzo. No balls and a strike on Manzo. Popped up, foul territory, Westerfield over near the dugout, but runs out of room. No balls and 2 strikes on Westerfield. I should say on Manzo. Manzo batting .273 on the season, 3 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Mentioned the wind briefly in the first. It is blowing in and across from left to right. Just outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Rose is ready. Tried to hold up, but down on strikes. Rosas gets another strikeout for out number 1.
Number 9, Trinity Holman.
That'll bring up Holman. Holman coming in, batting .330 with 10 home runs and 33 runs batted in. Trinity Holman, a fascinating story. Been with the program the last couple of years. First pitch in for a strike, no balls and a strike on Holman. But Holman has continued to improve. Though in talking with Coach Cynthia Vargas about Trinity Holman, Trinity indicating that really wants to focus on her studies, moving on from AVC to continue her studies, but not looking to continue playing softball. A ball and 2 strikes now, and a big swing and a miss by Holman, but what a great career she's had here at AVC. And I mentioned the fascinating part is that she is a great reflection of the philosophy of the coaching staff here at AVC about looking to constantly work on fundamentals and improve. And Holman last year, a fairly light hitting player, but they worked on her swing, working on staying back, trying to get a little more elevation. And Holman takes a giant step forward this year, ends the season leading the team far and away with 10 home runs. Chopper foul. But for Trinity Holman, indeed, she may be playing her last series in softball at all as she looks ahead to moving on here from AVC. A ball and 2 strikes. Rosas ready. Frozer with the breaking ball. That's a great change, I should say, from Rosas. And how can you be ready for that pitch with the great rise ball that Rosas has? And she drops it in perfectly. No way that Holman could get the bat off the shoulder. Down on strikes, 2 down quickly in the second. That'll bring up Alcantar. 1 ball, no strikes. Okay. Alcantar lifts this one foul. Brianna Padilla out and left gave chase, but couldn't get there in time. Count evened up, a ball and a strike. Rosas ready. Low for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. Alcantar batting .410 on the season, 4 home runs, 13 runs bat. Looked like a drop ball from Rosas, who has the full repertoire, as that one moved down and in to the right-hander Alcantar. 3 balls and a strike. Called strike 2. Full count on Victoria Alcantar. Set down 5 straight. Getting out of that jam in the first, keeping the Marauders scoreless, and now appears to have settled into a groove. The 3-2 to Alcantar. And that one's low. Alcantar with a 2-out walk.
Now batting number 1, Natalie Gomez.
That'll bring up Natalie Gomez. Gomez, a freshman, comes in batting .400. No home runs, 9 runs batted in. 14 for 35 on the season. She's appeared in 27 games. So Gomez, player that moves in and out of the lineup. Not every day, but gets the call here today. First pitch misses inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Fouled into the screen. A ball and a strike. Rosa's ready. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Rosa's working quickly. Cold, strike 3. Gomez down on strikes to end the second. We're through 1.5, 2-0 Santa Ana. It's the 3C2A playoffs on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Set to go in the bottom of the second. First pitch in for a strike. Don's leading it 2-0 and leading things off. It's Rosas. Check swing. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Rosas. And now we have one of our shots back. And we're working on the other one. So now we'll switch it up and cover this from behind home plate for a bit. A ball and 2 strikes. Always fun. Dealing with warmer temperatures, the uncertainty of internet connectivity, and 2 strikes. Meanwhile, we will keep going with Rosas at the plate and a 2-2 count. Riser ready. Pitch high again. This is a good job by Rosas to come back after being down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, we know what Rosas can do in the circle. Riser ready. Misses high. That's a great job by Rosas to come all the way back after being down no balls and 2 strikes and get on base to start the bottom of the second inning. And that'll bring up Yadi Ramirez. Yadi Ramirez out of Godinez High School. A sophomore will stand in from the right side. Cervantes creeps in at third. The bunt in fair territory. It's Holman that will come out and go to first. So Ramirez does the job, moves the runner to second with one down. And that'll bring up Brianna Padilla. Padilla, another left-handed bat. Well, there are only 3 in the lineup today, and talking to Cindy Vargas, mentioned that they were getting ready and expected to see as many as 5. But today, just 3 left-handed bats in the lineup against the right-hander, Maddie Reiser. No balls and a strike on Padilla. Padilla out of Paramount High School in her freshman season here at Santa Ana. They're in tight at the corners. Tries to get the running start, the rise ball high. A ball and a strike. Mentioned Vinny Robles and the 23 steals on the season for the Dons, but that's just part of the overall team. 79 stolen bases in 85 attempts for the Dons up to the moment. Breaking ball in for a strike. A ball and 2 strikes to count on Padilla. Back to the top of the order with Ramirez, who waits on deck for the Dons. 1 and 2 on Padilla. Padilla swings and misses down on strikes. Big strikeout for Maddie Reiser. Gets Padilla 2 down.
Now batting, number 27, Erlen Ramirez.
And that'll bring up Ramirez. Ramirez walked and scored in the first. Now she's trying to pick up Rosas at second. First pitch misses high. 1 ball and no strikes. Reiser ready. High for ball 2. Reiser with the pitch on the outside corner. Well, that is a pitch she has been trying steadily. That time she gets the call against Ramirez. That's a big call. Instead of 3-0, now it's 2-1. Ramirez reaches out and pokes that one foul. Count evened up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see Reiser working on that outside corner. See how she elects to work on a 2-2 count to Erlen Ramirez. Ramirez, sophomore, another sophomore out of Godinez High School for Santa Ana. Chopper up over the head of Hernandez. Nope, Hernandez did make the catch.
No errors.
Able to track it down.
After 2 innings.
Good job by Hernandez, ranging to her right to make the play and end the inning. We're through 2-0 Santa Ana. Top of the third from Santa Ana. AVC coming to bat, trailing at 2-0. Alana Hernandez will lead things off, to be followed by the top of the order, Ariel Nieto and Haley Johnson. First pitch swung on and missed. No balls and a strike on Alana Hernandez in the lineup today at second. And that was a classic Harry Carey moment. Hernandez makes a terrific play in the field to end the inning, and wouldn't you know it, she leads off the next inning at the plate. And if Harry were around, he'd be wondering why it is that you always see that. No balls and 2 strikes on Hernandez. Rosas ready. On the outside corner, paints the black. What a job by Rosas. 1 down, 3 pitches, 3 strikes. And that'll bring up the top of the order, Ariel Nieto, who came in batting .427, 5 home runs, 25 runs batted in. First pitch in for a strike. Rosas continues her groove. Nieto has the lone hit of the game so far for the Marauders. A leadoff double. She was eventually stranded at third. Fouled away. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. I spoke with Cindy Vargas and wondered if it was possible that with Rosa seeing so much of the action in the circle for the Dons, no doubt she will come back tomorrow and pitch again in Game 2, or at the very least, somewhere in Game 2 if she doesn't start and go the route. Do you want to think about trying to work deep into counts, trying to tire Rosas out, looking ahead to tomorrow, and maybe limiting her availability? Certainly if it goes 3 tomorrow. And Cindy Vargas pointing out that that's tricky to do because Rosas does such a great job of going right after the hitters and getting ahead in the count. If you go up there and you try to work the count and go deep, you'll find yourself facing a lot of 1-2 and 0-2 counts. And good luck trying to hit Emily Rosas if you're consistently down in the count. So quite the opposite. The Marauders' approach is going to be looking to be aggressive early. Having said that, Nieto takes it to a full count before going down on strikes as the rise ball catches the inside corner. 2 down. Base is empty for the Marauders, and Rosas is decidedly in a groove now through 2 2/3. She's got 5 strikeouts, and she's ahead in the count, no balls and a strike. Johnson swings and misses. Quickly 0-2. 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Check that, 6 strikeouts through 2 2/3 for Emily Rosas. And this is pretty much par for this course. That's the scary thought if you're a Marauder fan. For Emily Rosas, this isn't decidedly different than what she's been doing all year long. A ball and 2 strikes on Johnson. Johnson grounded out her first time up. On the right side, slow roller, Westerfield up and goes to first, but it pops out of the glove of Robles covering, and Johnson will be safe. So a 2-out base runner. It looked to me like the throw got there in time, but squirted through the glove of Robles for the out. I should say for the error. That'll bring up Cervantes. So instead of facing Cervantes with the bases empty to start the inning, the Marauders catch a bit of a break, and Cervantes will have a chance to bat with Johnson on deck. Meanwhile, should point out that Johnson was able to advance to second as that throw got away from Robles. So not only does the inning continue and Cervantes gets a chance with the runner on base, it's a runner in scoring position. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes on Cervantes, and you've got to believe that Rosas will be wanting to work carefully to Cervantes. Incredibly dangerous hitter with a runner on base. Comebacker, and Rosas fielding her position will handle it and go to first to retire the side. We head to the bottom of the third. 2-0. Santa Ana on top of AVC.
Don's lead, 2-0.
Yeah.
It'll be Rangsoupson to be followed by Casey and Westerfield. For the Dons. First pitch high for a ball. One and 0 on Rangsoupson, walked and scored in the first. I am hoping that we have all of our cameras working. Let's see what happens. Off speed, in for a strike, a ball and a strike on Rangsoupson. Dons with a 2-0 lead on the strength of a 2-run single from Vinny Robles in the first. Game 1 of this best-of-3 series. It's the opening round of the 3C2A Softball Championship here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Outside, 2 balls and a strike on Rangsoupson. Alana Rangsoupson came in batting .305, no home runs, 17 runs batted in. Rangsoupson, Ramirez, Robles, all with great speed. So important to keep runners off base. Particularly these three. Looking for the slapper. Instead takes it high for a ball. 3 balls and a strike now on Rangsoupson. Well, already you saw the trouble of putting Ramirez and Rangsoupson on base in the first. It led to 2 runs. Maddie's ready. Here's the 3-1. Tries the breaking ball. And hard to say if that was inside or maybe even got a piece of Rangsoupson. Either way, Alana Rangsoupson is on first. That'll bring up Casey. Sarah Casey 0 for 1. On the days, got the speedy Rangsoupson at first. First pitch, swung on and fouled away. No balls and a strike. On Sarah Casey. There is a look at the freshman Sarah Casey out of Orange Lutheran High School. No balls and a strike. Breaking ball swung on the ground to third. Cervantes' throw is high. Everybody's going to be safe, and they're going to move up as this one heads down into the corner. Rangsoupson is going to come all the way around to score as Casey ends up at second. Watch we just caught the tail end here as this ball got all the way down to the right field line.
Now batting, number 28, JoJo Westerfield.
And that allows Rangsoupson to come around and score, and the Dons now lead it 3-0. Still nobody out. We're going to have a mound visit. And, of course, those that have followed the Marauders all season long know, as JoJo Westerfield will be the batter, that defense has been an area of opportunity for the Marauders. Of course, they knock the cover off the ball up and down the lineup. Maddie Reiser has led a good young pitching staff that has had a good season. But if there is an issue that has hurt the Marauders from time to time, it's been defensively. And again, Coach Sidney Vargas very clear that with so little margin for error, they absolutely have to take care of the ball defensively and not give the Dons extra outs and extra opportunities. It's going to be hard enough against one of the best pitchers, arguably the best pitcher in the entire state. But you cannot give them extra runs and extra opportunities, and unfortunately for the Marauders, that's what they did there. As the throw gets away, and it ends not only with a run, but a runner at third with still nobody out. First pitch to Westerfield is in for a strike as Reiser will continue. Westerfield is 0 for 1 in the game. The Marauders, sensing that they can ill afford to let this one get away further, are in at all 4 positions on the infield. Fouled away by Westerfield, no balls and 2 strikes. 0 for a strikeout here if you're an AVC fan. JoJo Westerfield batting .349 on the season. No home runs, 21 runs batted in, 9 walks, 7 strikeouts, and 126 at bats. So she handles the bat well, but she's down in the count. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes as the curveball misses inside. Marauders in some trouble with a runner at third and nobody out for the Dons. 1-2 pitch into left field for a base hit for Westerfield. Westerfield with an RBI single. The Dons push the lead to 4-0. There's a good piece of hitting right through the hole on the left side.
Now batting, number 77.
Ball on the inner half, and Westerfield turns on it and pushes the lead to 4-0. And that'll bring up Vinny Robles. And here comes Mike Vargas, and this might be it for Maddie Reiser, who is going to go 2+ and give way to Emily Serra. Emily Serra will come on. And get a look at Emily Serra. Quickly give you the numbers on Serra's. We'll keep it here. Serra making her 20th appearance on the season, her 10th in relief. Her record 10-2, an ERA of 5.06 in 74 2/3. She allowed 91 hits, walked 46, struck out 79. So she comes on with the Dons leading this one 4-0. Here in the bottom of the third. Reiser departs with a runner at first as Robles, who had a 2-run single her first time up.
Now pitching for the Marauders, number 72, Emily Serra.
So Serra ready as Robles stands in. Westerfield at first, the first pitch. And hold everything. Yeah, time called, and we'll reset. Robles will dig in. Serra's ready. First pitch in for a strike from Emily Serra. Well, Serra, something of a departure from Reiser. I saw the hits to innings. She allows better than a hit an inning. But she'll pitch to contact. Fouled away. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. In the air to right. And Gomez there for the out. One down. Westerfield still at first.
Now batting, number 22.
That'll bring up
Alexis Rangel.
Alexis Rangel. Rangel's 0 for 1. First pitch to Rangel, outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Rangel out of St. Joseph's High School, a freshman. Swung on. Into left, coming on. It's Johnson, but she can't get there. And Westerfield will make it to second. First and second, still only 1 out as Rangel gets the bloop single. So sometimes you hit the ball hard, and other times you just find a perfect spot. But either way, you're on. And Rangel picks up the base hit. That'll bring up Rosas, who walked and scored, or I should say walked her first time up. She was eventually stranded. 1 ball and no strikes. Sarah with a long look. Low for a ball, 2 balls and no strikes. Inside for ball 3. Quickly 3-0 on Rosas. Good rise ball in for a strike. 3 balls and a strike on Rosas. Well, I was trying to find the numbers on Rosas at the plate. As she takes ball 4. Not seeing him, but I don't think this is her first appearance at the plate on the season. Either way, she's been on twice with a walk. And now they're loaded, still only 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 3rd, and Yadi Ramirez can perhaps take a big step toward a short day for the Dons. With the lead already at 4-0, they've got a golden opportunity to tack on some more here. First pitch to Ramirez, and it got a piece. That caught Ramirez. That'll bring home another run.
Now batting, number 7, Bree Padilla.
And Bree Padilla will be the batter. The lead now 5-0 with Bree Padilla coming to the plate. Padilla out of Paramount High School, a freshman. Good pitch from Sarah on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. Tries the breaking ball on the left side. Cervantes able to flip to home and get the force for out number 2. This is a terrific play by Savannah Cervantes. This looks like it could be trouble initially off the bat. Let's watch and see if we caught this one here. With 2 down and the bases still loaded. Watch Cervantes play this one, knows exactly where to go, and comes home to get the force. 2 down. And the batter will be Erlyn Ramirez. 1 ball and no strikes on Ramirez. 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Way outside. That's a great job by Holman. Potentially saves a run. Getting that ball. 2 balls and no strikes. On the outside corner, 2-1 on Ramirez. The Dons with a 5-0 lead. They have them loaded in the bottom of the 3rd with 2 down. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Ramirez, who came in batting .325, a home run, 29 runs batted in. 2-2 pitch coming from Sarah, in on the hands and fouled away. Get a look at Erlen Ramirez. Stands in from the right side. 2-2. Sarah rocks and fires. Line shot. What a catch by Hernandez. Hernandez robbing the Dons of a couple of runs. One more time. That deserves one more look, I think. Let's see if we can get one more look at Hernandez. Elevates. That's a couple of runs off the board right there. The Dons lead at 5-0. Blank the Marauders over the first. Man, how do you like that location? That is on the inside corner and a little bit up in the zone. There is nothing you're going to do with that pitch if you even try to swing at it. 0-1. Back to the same spot on the ground to short. Long throw for Ramirez. Westerfield gets the tag.
Now batting, number 13.
Well, when I talked to Marissa Ross, she talked about individual players as we went through some of the names. And every time I mentioned a player's name, the first thing she talked about was defense. And that was certainly the case with JoJo Westerfield, who is sensational at first. Presents that taller target, 1 ball and no strikes for the infielders to throw to, and there makes an athletic play with the sweep tag to get Delgado after the throw. Pulled her slightly off the bag. Check swing, back up the middle. To her right, it's Robles, who will go to first. That time, Westerfield can't dig it out. And the Marauders with a base runner. So Manzo with an infield hit on the check swing.
Number 9, Trinity.
Gets through the circle. And that's a tough play for Robles, who can't quite get enough on the throw. 1 down, a runner at first. And it will bring up Trinity Holman. Holman leading the team with 10 home runs on the season, but it's going to take a mighty shot to get one out of here with the wind blowing in directly from left. Chopper to short. Ramirez goes to second for 1. There'll be no throw to first. 1 pitch and another out.
Now batting,
As Ramirez gets the force
Victoria
at second. 2 down. And that'll bring up Vicky Alcantar. Alcantar, no official at bat. She walked her first time up. Coming in, batting over 400 on the season. The Marauders need to string together some hits. Good cut, but back to the screen. No balls and a strike. Rosas continues to cruise through 3 2/3. Well, they only have that. They still have Rosas as allowing 1 hit. I think that's tough. Unless they haven't updated yet on the ball off the bat of Manzo. They're calling that an error. Reaction on that pitch, a ball and a strike. Just high. Just high again. Thought I had it. It's 2 balls and no strikes, I believe, on Alcantar. Started to save for Roses through 3 2/3. She's allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and struck out 6, which means they're calling that other ball an error on the right side over to Westerfield to retire the side. The Marauders are done in the 4th. We head to the bottom of the 4th. The Dons on top 5-0. It's game 1, round 1. The 3C2A playoffs here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Bottom of the 4th from Santa Ana. And Alana Rang-Soupson set to lead things off. Heart of the order coming up for the Dons, who lead it 5-0. First pitch high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes on Rang-Soupson. Alana Rang-Soupson with a couple of walks on the day. And outside again, 2 balls and no strikes. The numbers for Rang-Soupson on the season, just 6 walks in 131 at-bats. So she's a free swinger up there. But so far, the Marauder pitchers have put her on twice. 2 balls and a strike, and with her speed, it's just not a good proposition for Antelope Valley. Keep putting her on base. And the Dons have made the most of it, grabbing the 5-0 lead. Rang-Soupson thought about the runner, takes it outside, 3 balls and a strike. Rang-Soupson way out in front again. Now the infield in at all 4 positions for Rang-Soupson. They're well in at the corners. Sarah pumps the fastball in for a strike. Full count on Rang-Soupson.
Right now, Aaron.
Payoff pitch coming from Emmy Sarah. Lifted in foul territory, and Cervantes can't quite get there. Another chance for Rang-Soupson. Another long at bat. Reiser got the start, went 2 2/3. Again, tries to slap to the left side. Foul ball again. And this is advantage Alana Rang-Soupson. Longer she can continue this at bat, keep the pressure on. Obviously leading off. The old adage, if not the tired adage, a walk is as good as a hit, certainly applies here. And it's inside for ball 4, and indeed, the leadoff batter aboard as Rang-Soupson draws another walk. 3 on the 3 today, and again on the season, just 6. So all of a sudden, Alana Rang-Soupson drawing walks left and right. She's aboard, and that'll bring up Casey. Off speed on the outside corner, called strike 1. As Casey digs in from the left side, 0-1. Sarah has one she likes, rocks and fires. Breaking ball swung on and missed by Carey. Casey, I should say, no balls and 2 strikes quickly on Sarah Casey, who's 1 for 2 in the game. Casey came in batting .375. The Dons had just 5 home runs as a team, but Casey had 3 of them. So this is the power. Chopper to third, Cervantes to second for 1, and they turn 2. Good job turning the double play. Take it back as Cervantes, who's done a great job fielding her position all season long, in at third, gets it on the big hop. Hernandez with the turn and the peg to first. And the Marauders turn 2. And just like that, the base runner is erased. 2 down, base is empty. And Westerfield will be the batter. First pitch from Sarah high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes on JoJo Westerfield, who's 1 for 2. Westerfield came in batting .349. Good rise ball for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on JoJo Westerfield. Well, talked about the defense being up and down for the Marauders this season. Fly ball, center field, long run. Nieto's not going to get there. This is going to one-hop the wall. Westerfield will cruise into second with a double. This one up in the zone, and Westerfield at 6 feet. When you're up in the zone, that's still roughly belt high for Westerfield, and she is able to launch that one to right center for a 2-out double. And now the double play looms even larger, as instead of adding to the lead with the double, it's 2 down, a runner at second, and Vinny Robles coming to the plate. So a chance still for Sarah to get out of the inning unscathed. Just to finish the point about the defense, well, we talked about that it has been something of an up and down area for the Marauders this season, but in the last few minutes, the defense has really picked it up. The sensational play by Hernandez to end the previous inning, and now a great job by Cervantes at third to turn a double play. No easy trick in softball. And Cervantes to Hernandez to Alcantara. You can't do it a whole lot better. So certainly give the Marauders a lot of credit because the defense has really picked up here of late to keep them alive in this one, as they are on the precipice here, down 5-0, as the Dons bat in the bottom of the 4th. A couple of hits, and the Dons can maybe get out of here inside of regulation. So that's what I mean when I talk about the Marauders being on the precipice. 3 balls and a strike. Robles takes that one on the inside corner, full count, 3-2.
Let's go, Emmy, right here, man.
Another payoff pitch coming. Just outside. And on the play, Westerfield breaking for third and steals third without a throw. So Robles with a walk.
Number 22, Alexis.
It's runners at the corners for Alexis Rangel. So Rangel looking for a 2-out RBI. Will come to the plate to face Sarah. Sarah working in her second inning. A wave and a miss. Breaking for second, it's Robles. She'll steal without a throw. No balls and a strike. Now it's 2 runners in scoring position, and Rangel, you got to believe with Robles' speed, can add a couple of runs here with any kind of a base hit to the outfield. On the left side and foul. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Rangel.
Let's go, Emmy, right here, man. You guys are like it. You guys are
The 0-2 to Rangel. Change outside for a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's a good job by Rangel to lay off that pitch. Alexis Rangel in 109 at bats this season, came in batting .303, but 8 walks, just 4 strikeouts. So she has good command of the strike zone, high and inside for a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Rangel. Fortunately, if you're a Marauder fan, with 2 down, any old kind of an out will do. And we'll get the Marauders out of the inning. We're in the bottom of the 4th with Santa Ana leading at 5-0. Line foul on the left side. Rangel continues to try and take it the opposite way. You saw the lengthy at bat earlier from Rang Soupson. Dons have done such a good job getting deep into counts. 2-2 pitch outside, 3-2. Again, this was at one point an 0-2 count on Rangel. Sarah does have first base open with Rosas waiting on deck. Here's the payoff pitch. Popped up, left field, coming on. Johnson's there and has it to retire the side.
No runs, 1 hit.
The Dons put a couple on, but come up empty. We head to the 5th. Santa Ana leading AVC 5-0. It's the 3C2A softball playoffs here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the 5th. First pitch swung on and missed. No balls and a strike. Leading things off, Natalie Gomez for the Marauders, to be followed by Alana Hernandez. Foul back to the screen. It's quickly. No balls and 2 strikes on Gomez, who struck out her first time up. Emily Rosas. And the postseason, more of what we saw in the regular season. 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and the Marauders scoreless. Popped up towards second, and Robles there for out number 1.
Now batting, number 10, Alana Hernandez.
So Gomez retired, 1 down. That'll bring up Alana Hernandez. In the lineup at second as Amy Manzo slides to the DP position. And Hernandez shares time at second with Manzo, and saw the glove work earlier from Alana Hernandez. First pitch from Rosas misses low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Rosas ready, kicks and delivers. Rise ball high, 2 balls and no strikes. Emily Rosas, 5'2", sophomore, Villa Park High School. And I mentioned the 5'2" because, man, she packs a lot of velocity in that 5'2" frame. She could bring it. 2 balls and a strike. And went on the inside corner. Just terrific form and mechanics for Emily Rosas. Good velocity, good movement on her pitches, and that's why he was pitcher of the year in the Orange Empire Conference. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now on Hernandez. Back to the top of the order with Nieto. As Ariel Nieto waits on deck. 2-2 pitch. Hernandez able to check her swing. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Best chance for the Marauders came right off the bat when Nieto led off with a double in the first inning. Made it to third with 1 out, but the Marauders couldn't get the run home. And they have had trouble generating opportunities since, as Hernandez down on strikes. 7th strikeout for Emily Rosas. And 2 down, bases empty, and that'll bring up Nieto, who has the 1 hit today. A double back in the first. And it came on a first pitch, and she goes after the first pitch here and fouls it away. No balls and a strike on Nieto. And there is a look at Ariel Nieto. Change up low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nieto swings and fouls it back and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Nieto. 2 down, bases empty in the top of the 5th. The Dons with a 5-0 lead. Game 1 in this best-of-3 opening round series. The 4-seed Santa Ana College Dons against the 12-seed Antelope Valley College line. Back through the middle and a base hit. Well, Nieto has got to be the one batter in the Marauder lineup who's had some kind of answer against Emily Rosas.
Now batting, number 11.
It's a line shot back through the box. Take a look. Good piece of hitting. That ball pretty well inside, but quick bat from Nieto. And she gets the base hit. That keeps the inning alive for Haley Johnson. 2 down and a runner on. Fastball tails outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. High and inside to Johnson. 2 balls and no strikes. Rosas will gather herself and get ready to go. She's still 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. In for a strike. 2 balls and a strike to Johnson. Haley's 0 for 2. Outside, 3 balls and a strike. Right back to the screen, full count on Johnson. A couple of consecutive at-bats for the Marauders where they've been able to work a full count. Again, it's tough to really pile up the pitches on Emily Rosas. She's so consistently around the plate. You simply can't afford to do it. But the Marauders making her work this inning. Soft line drive on the right side. It's going to drop in for a hit. Johnson's aboard. Nieto will make it all the way to third. Runners at the corners. Still 2 out. And another chance for Savannah Cervantes, who's 0 for 2. And even with Emily Rosas in the circle, how many times do you want to keep taking your chances with Savannah Cervantes with runners on base? Big opportunity for the Marauders to try and get themselves back into this one. They trail it 5-0. But Cervantes will have a shot with runners at the corners and 2 down. And Mike Vargas, the husband of head coach Cynthia Vargas, also works with the Marauders right alongside husband and wife team, and Vargas will lead the conference with Savannah Cervantes as the Marauders looking to, perhaps more than anything, just find a way to get on the board against Emily Rosas and then go from there. They have yet to break through as they bat in the 5th. And Cervantes now ready. Came in batting .477 on the season. She's 0 for 2 today. Rosas ready. Here's the pitch. First pitch roped foul.
Hey, there you go, kid. Cut it.
No balls and a strike. Well, Savannah Cervantes may be 0 for 2 and working against one of the toughest pitchers in the 3C2A, but she hasn't lost the aggressiveness. And as Cynthia Vargas has preached all season long, it's about going up there with a plan. You got to be thinking and know what you want to do in an at-bat. Have a strategy right from the outset. A ball and a strike.
Good eye. Ooh.
Called strike 2.
Come on.
Tremendous location. The ABC crowd is not going to like it. Such is the life of an umpire, but can't quite tell from our angle from behind home plate, but really painted the corner in the eyes of the one that matters. The guy calling the balls and strikes, 2 balls and 2 strikes, as Rosas tried to go back to the same spot and just missed. 2-2 on Cervantes. On the left side and through for a base hit. The Marauders are on the board. Here comes the throw home, not in time. A 2-run single for Savannah Cervantes. Going to see here, this one just gets through on the left side, but watch Haley Johnson, who had advanced to second earlier in the at-bat, come around to score. The Marauders are on the board,
Now batting,
and they have pulled within 3 at 5-2 as Savannah Cervantes delivers a 2-run single. That'll bring up Nayeli Delgado, who fouls away the first offering from Rosas. Well, for Rosas, just to give up a couple of runs is noteworthy. But the Marauders have 2 on the board. And they're back within 3 at 5-2. Popped up. Shallow right.
ABC gets 2
Robles has it.
hits, 1
Side
run,
retired, but the Marauders put 2 on the board on the 2-run single
2.
by Cervantes. It's 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th. And set to go as Sarah will work first pitch in for a strike. Two runs on the board for the Marauders in the top of the order. A wave and a miss for Rosa. She's quickly in a hole. No balls and 2 strikes. See if that gives the Marauders a boost in the field as well, where, again, as we made the point in the previous inning, they've been pretty good. 1 miscue. Slow roller to third, Cervantes. She's got a gun over at third in plenty of time to get Rosas for out number 1. So 1 down.
Now batting number 5, Yadi Ramirez.
That'll bring up Yadi Ramirez. So Ramirez stands in from the right side. Sarah with a long look. Rise ball up for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes on Yadi Ramirez. Came in batting 184. No home runs, 18 runs batted in. No official at bat on the day so far, and she's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. If you're really looking for a storyline in this game, I think the control for the pitchers in the circle for AVC has been a big storyline in this one. Through 4 1/3, Marauder pitchers have allowed 5 hits, but have walked 7. Make it 8, as Yadi Ramirez is on with a 1-out walk. And as much as anything, that's the difference in this game. Just too many base runners for the Dons, who've been able to take advantage in a couple of innings and have opened up the 5-2 lead. The infield in at all 4 positions for Bree Padilla. Curveball for a strike, no balls and a strike. On Padilla. Padilla 0 for 1. Squares to bunt. Meanwhile, Ramirez breaking for second, and she'll make it as Holman can't find the handle. The pitch is called a ball. So a ball and a strike on Padilla, and now a runner in scoring position at second for the Dons. The 1-1 from Sarah. Bunted foul. 1 and 2. And Padilla will come back. Let's see what the call is with 2 strikes for Bree Padilla. Padilla batting 148 coming in. No home runs, couple of runs batted in. And the Marauders are still in at all 4 positions on the infield. Rise ball, and Padilla lays off 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ramirez at second with 1 down. The Marauders can ill afford to allow even a single insurance run. They have just 6 outs left, and they still trail at 5-2. Sarah does a good job of busting it in on the hands, but Padilla does a good job fighting it off and staying alive. 2 and 2. Sarah has the sign. Here's the 2-2. Off speed. Popped up. Cervantes high up to get it. Will go to second, but not in time. Savannah Cervantes looking for the double play. And, you know, this is a play that Savannah Cervantes makes look easier than it is. This hangs in the air. She's got the bag to contend with, but able to stay focused on the ball and bring it down for out number 2. 2 down. Ramirez remains at second. And back to the top of the order with Erlen Ramirez, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch in for a strike. Erlen Ramirez. Came in 4 for 17 over her last 5 games. That included a 3-hit game and a big win over San Diego Canyon back on April 25th. In for a strike. It's 1-2 on Erlen Ramirez. You know, worth noting is the job that Emmy Sarah's done since coming in for Maddie Reiser. Struggled over the first couple of innings before giving way in the third. But Sarah's done a nice job settling things down and holding the Dons relatively close. The Marauders finally broke through with a couple of runs. But this is still a game, in large part thanks to a good job in long relief by Emily Sarah. Here's the 1-2. High for a ball, 2-2 on Ramirez. Erlen Ramirez in the leadoff spot here today, as she has been for every game this season for the Dons. Curve ball outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. You saw Sarah try to pull the string, and a good job by Ramirez to lay off. It's a full count. Pop foul on the right side, out of play. Ramirez still alive. 3-2 on Erlen Ramirez, looking for her first hit today. This would be a good time for it if you're a Dons fan. Dons would love to take back a measure of momentum. They could do it with a 2-out RBI here. Through up the middle for a base hit. It is going to be a big RBI single for Ramirez. Erlen Ramirez helps the Dons to answer back as it gets by a diving Nayeli Delgado. And into center for a base hit. Another big 2-out hit for the Dons today. You go back to the very first inning, and Robles delivering a 2-out, 2-run single. And that set the tone early and gave the Dons an early 2-0 lead, a lead they have never relinquished. And Ramirez there delivers another big 2-out RBI hit. And that pushes the lead back to 4 at 6-2 and brings up Alana Rangsubson. Ramirez going for second, and she'll make it. Another stolen base. They count a ball and a strike on Rangsubson, who has walked all 3 times she's come to the plate today. Alana Rangsubson, who came in batting .305. Line drive into center field. Nieto. They're going to say she trapped it. And now the throw down to second. Not in time as Rangsubson digging hard. Let's watch the hit as Nieto was positioned well, but just couldn't quite get there in time as the Dons have answered back with 2 runs in their half of the 5th as Rangsubson delivers another 2-out hit. Boy, Nieto got so close on that one. See if we can watch that one more time as Casey will stand in. But let's go back one more time while we keep you apprised of what's going on with Casey. First pitch in for a strike, and boy, Nieto got so close, but doesn't get the call. It's ruled a trap. And Rangsubson, you see at the tail end, that's a heady play by Alana Rangsubson, digging hard and makes her way into scoring position. So with Casey at the plate, as she swings and hits it into right for another base hit. This will score another run, and the heads-up play by Rangsubson looms large as she never gives up on the previous play. That puts her at second.
Number 28,
and allows her to score, making it 8-2. Take it back to the work by Casey. Well, Sarah was close to getting out of the inning unscathed, but instead has allowed 3 straight RBI singles from Ramirez, Rangsupson, and Casey. And the Dons have reasserted control, and they now lead it 8-2. You've got to be impressed with this Dons team. Yeah, we can talk about Emily Rosas, and with good reason, but they've been disciplined at the plate, consistently putting runners on base with a number of walks in this one. As Westerfield fouls it away, she's in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-out hitting has been an enormous storyline in this as well. That's at least 4 hits that have come with 2 outs that have scored runs for the Dons. And that's not counting the 3-run inning in the 3rd. Chopper to second. Hernandez will go to first to finally retire the side, but the Dons put 3 on the board. We'll head to the 6th. Santa Ana on top of AVC 8-2. It's the 3C2A softball playoffs, round 1 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Heading to the top of the 6th inning. And the Dons with an 8-2 lead. And Rosas back to work in the circle. First pitch swung on and fouled away by Amy Manzo. No balls and a strike on Manzo. One of a few sophomores on this AVC squad out of Pete Knight High School. She's quickly in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes in the lineup today as a designated player, but Manzo spends a lot of time at second base as well, sharing time with Alana Hernandez. 0-2 the count as Rosas will retrieve another ball, and we'll get ready to go. The Marauders in a big hole now after the 3-run 5th. Sees the Dons push it back to an 8-2 lead. Manzo turns on this one but fouls it away. Manzo to be followed by Holman and Alcantar for the Marauders as they bat in the top of the 6th. Of course, the Dons in action as well just across the way as the baseball team opens their playoff run against Santa Barbara. We also have that for you here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Fly ball right field, playable for Rangel, who puts it away for out number 1.
Number 9, Trinity Holman.
So Rosas retires Manzo. That'll bring up Holman. Trinity Holman 0 for 2 on the day, and talked about the story of Trinity Holman and what a tremendous career she's had. Originally out of Saracoso, transferred to a 4-year school on the East Coast, and then finally made her way to AVC where she played last year. And has announced her intention that she's not looking to transfer with softball in mind, but focused on pursuing her degree. So Trinity Holman wrapping up her softball career here this year at AVC. And what a great run it's been for her at Antelope Valley College. A ball and 2 strikes to count. One of the unquestioned leaders on this team. Leading by example, as Cynthia Vargas talking about her, just a hard worker, first to show up, last to head home. Down on strikes there as Rosas goes to the rise ball and is able to throw it by Trinity Holman and get the strikeout for out number 2. 2 down. That'll bring up Alcantar, who's 0 for 1. Starts Alcantar off with a strike. No balls and a strike on Victoria, who came in batting .410. Victoria Alcantar out of Apple Valley High School, a freshman, and we'll likely see Vicky in the circle before the series is all over as well. Seen Maddie Reiser, who will probably come back tomorrow, one would believe, a ball and a strike, and we've seen Emmy Sarah, the third pitcher who has seen action in the circle this season is Vicky Alcantar. And Cynthia Vargas talking about the relationship between Emmy Sarah and Victoria Alcantar. Have known each other for a number of years, played together for a long time, and often trade off in the circle and at first base. And good friends who together fill a similar and important role on this Marauder team. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rosas ready, working quickly, off speed, just missed. Well, she froze Alcantar. She just didn't quite get it over. So Rosas will have to regroup and get ready to go. Here's the payoff pitch. Slow roller on the left side. It's Rosas who makes the play. This is a terrific play by Rosas. She's the only one who has a chance here. As the Marauders go 3 up and 3 down into 6, that takes a funny hop, and it's Rosas who has to take it with the bare hand. And not surprisingly, able to get enough on the throw to end the inning. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Santa Ana on top, 8-2. Will lead things off in the bottom of the 6th for the Dons, who lead it 8-2. Emmy Sarah back in the circle. First pitch to Robles, over for a strike. Robles in the game, 1 for 2, had the big 2-run single in the first to open the scoring. Change up outside for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike on Robles, excuse me. Sarah's now worked 3 innings into her 4th. Back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count on Vinny Robles. Sarah in 3 innings. Surrendered 5 hits, walked 4. Allowed 3 runs. Off speed again, and Robles delivers another base hit. The throw comes in from Gomez, but not in time to get the speedy Vinny Robles
Batting, number 22.
heading down the line. Leadoff batter aboard for the Dons. Couple of runs here from the Dons, and that would finish it up. So the Marauders need to hold them to less than 2 runs. Swing and a miss. Robles breaking for second. She'll make it easily. No balls and a strike. And that's I think, a fairly half-hearted hit and run with Rangel at the plate. I think Rangel is there to just run a little interference as Robles looks to swipe second. And the swing, to a degree, can slow down that throw coming to second. That gives Robles all the time she'll need. Fly ball center field. Nieto is there for the out. 1 down. So Rangel retired, 1 down, and a runner at second. And that'll bring up Emily Rosas, who's 0 for 1. She's walked a couple of times, looking to help her own cause. Pick up Vinny Robles, the speedster, at second with 1 down. Rosa squares to bunt and takes the rise ball for a strike. No balls and a strike. And Rosas will stand in. Rise ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count on Rosas. Dons leading it in the bottom of the 6th. In the opener of this 3-game set. Same 2 teams tomorrow at noon. Rise ball again high from Sarah. 2 balls and a strike. If necessary, Game 3 would be scheduled for 2 o'clock. Shortly after the conclusion of Game 2. And we'll have that game for you tomorrow on SoCalCollegeSports.com. You can find the game, among other ways, by searching YouTube for our channel, SoCal College Sports 1. And that'll bring up all the players, as well as all of our previous broadcasts. So if you don't get a chance to see the game in its entirety today, you can always check it out on YouTube, where it can be found on our channel page, SoCal College Sports 1. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Rosas. Sarah Reddy fouled away. Rosas taking some time now. She's ready. Sarah rocks and fires. Busted it inside, and the pop back to the circle. Sarah will take it herself. That's great location on the pitch from Emily Sarah. And watch this ball tail inside to Rosas. That's terrific location. Just sawed her off. And Sarah puts it away for out number 2. 2 down. Robles still at second. That'll bring up Yadi Ramirez. Nope, Amanda Mendoza is going to pinch hit for Yadi Ramirez. Amanda Mendoza, freshman out of Segerstrom High School. First pitch swung on and missed. No balls and a strike. Amanda Mendoza comes in batting .250 on the season, 5 for 20 at the plate. Looking to pick up Robles, looking for another 2-out RBI. Inside for a ball and a strike. Sarah outside with the rise ball. 2 balls and a strike on Mendoza. Good cut, but fouled away. 2-2. Amanda Mendoza stands in. Sarah Reddy tries to change and missed. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That's a good job by Mendoza to lay off. Another full count. Sarah back up on the rubber and ready to go. Here's the payoff pitch to Mendoza. Swung on and missed.
No runs.
Sarah fans Mendoza to end the inning. We'll head to the 7th. The Dons on top of AVC 8-2. Game 1, round 1, the 3C2A playoffs on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We'll have a pinch hitter to start the 7th inning. Mael Grimes will bat against Rosas. First pitch misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Marauders down to their final 3 outs in game 1. They trail it 8-2. Grimes takes the rise ball for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Grimes batting .154 on the season. Rise ball inside, 2 balls and a strike. And the numbers on Rosas through 6 innings. 4 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and the 8-2 lead. A ball, I should say 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Grimes. Statistically speaking, the Marauders ground ball to short. Good hop for Ramirez, who will go to first for out number 1. Statistically speaking, the Marauders have done pretty well to put a couple on the board against Rosas, and that just shows
Now batting, number 99, Denise Carrillo.
how good you have to be. Pretty much perfect if you're going to get a win with Rosas in the circle. Another pinch hitter, Denise Carrillo. Carrillo's missed the last 5 games. Gets an opportunity here. No balls and a strike. Swing and a miss. Well, the scoreboard's got it at 0-1. I'll hold off here. Instead, I'll tell you a little bit more about Denise Carrillo and the season she's had. As she's in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Carrillo batting .385 on the season, 2 home runs, 23 runs batted in. And as I say, noticed when looking over some of the recent scores for AVC that she hasn't been in the lineup for about 5 games. So perhaps battling an injury. Don't know for sure. Retired on strikes here as Rosas able to paint the inside corner and get the strikeout. And now the Marauders are down to their final out. And it's Ariel Nieto who's had 2 hits today. She has been by far the most successful check swing, foul tip, no balls and a strike. By far the most successful batter against Rosas in this Marauder lineup with a double and a single. Down the count, no balls and a strike. One and one on Nieto, 2 for 3 with a run scored. Change over for a strike. Again, I'm not sure that I've seen a pitcher for the Marauders even manage a swing against an off-speed pitch from Rosas. That's how dialed in you have to be to that pitch, the rise ball, that is going to represent the majority of the pitches for Emily Rosas. But when she does work in an off-speed pitch, it is incredibly hard to pull the trigger. Swung on and missed. Rosas closes it out
No errors. Final score.
with another strikeout.
Antelope Valley 2.
And the Dons take game 1, 8-2.
Series, game 2.
We'll step aside, come back, and wrap things up
12 noon.
here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Necessary 30 minutes following game.
Final score from Santa Ana, 8-2. Santa Ana, the Dons take game 1. Game 2 scheduled for tomorrow at noon. We will have it for you here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. If game 3 is necessary, that will take place roughly 30 minutes after the conclusion of game 2, and we will have that game for you as well. A reminder as well to Dons fans that we have baseball coverage as well going on right now. The Dons taking on Santa Barbara City College in their round 1 playoff matchup. Game 1 taking place right now on SoCalCollegeSports.com, and of course Game 2 and Game 3, if necessary, will be available tomorrow as well on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We hope you will join us for any and all of it. Storyline in this one starts with Emily Rosa, 7 innings. She goes the route, 4 hits allowed, allows just 1 walk, strikes out 10, and gets the win. And more bad news for the Marauders. It's likely going to be Rosas in the circle again tomorrow. So they will have to deal with her again in Game 2, and who knows, perhaps even in Game 3. The other storyline in this one, the batting at key times, the key hits, 5 for 16 with runners in scoring position were the Dons. They were 7 for 21 overall with runners on base, and they were exceptional hitting with 2 outs. They were 5 for 11 in the game with 2 outs, and that in large part led to the 8-run outburst and the 8-2 win. That will wrap up our coverage here from Santa Ana. Thanks so much for joining us. Once again, the final score, Dons 8, Marauders 2. The Dons go up 1-0 in the best-of-3 series. Thanks so much for joining us. So long, everybody.